My husband goes on annual vacations with his family. I'm on okay terms with them, but since we've only been married for a short time and I don't see his family much, we still have that barrier that keeps us from being completely comfortable around each other. His family arranged for a vacation last week. I, out of curiosity, asked if I could come. My husband felt hesitant, but I told him it would be an excellent opportunity to get to know his family better. He agreed to take me, and his family was surprised to see me, but still welcomed me. On the third day of the vacation, his dad, mom, brothers and spouses were all sitting at a table outside talking while I was preparing a fruit salad. As I was making my way back, I overheard my mother-in-law say, "Did she really have nowhere else to spend the weekend?" At first, I had no idea who she was talking about, so I kept on walking, but stopped once I overheard my husband say, "I know, and I didn't want to bring her with me, but what was I supposed to do? You know how pushy she can get." I instantly figured out it was about me. I felt so shaken up that I almost dropped the salad. This whole time I was there, I cleaned, cooked, and looked after the kids, and this is how they think of me? An inconvenience to them? I quietly booked a ticket and went home on the first plane. He called and texted, but I didn't respond to anything other than to let him know I was home. He returned and went off on me, saying what I did was disrespectful and juvenile. I told him I overheard the conversation he had with his mom, but he said that I was wrong for eavesdropping and that his family would warm up to me on their terms, so I should stop pushing to be around them when they don't feel comfortable with it, saying that it was my fault for coming along in the first place. He said that going home disappointed him and his family and gave them a bad impression of me. I think I might have messed this up and somewhat ruined it for them. Not the idiot, it's not like you've been dating for 2 weeks. You're married. And as I understand, the husband's brothers brought their spouses. So how else are you going to get to know the family? And to be honest, the fact that your husband didn't defend you and was also talking with them behind your back is a red flag. It's more than a red flag, it's truly a deal breaker. He didn't even tell his family he was bringing her since they were surprised to see her. Who needs enemies with a partner like this? OP shouldn't stay married to someone who doesn't like her and doesn't want to include her as part of his family. I know so many dudes straight up dislike their wives. They want intimacy partners and maids. If their mothers have already failed to raise them as respectful adults, why would anyone else sign up to? I would rather have someone who brings something to the table and not just a booster seat and total dependency for survival. Also, this is why I stay 1000% single. Well, her husband immediately describes her as pushy, as if that is something his entire family would know, even though OP hasn't spent much time with the family, which means her husband has been bad-mouthing her for a while now. Of course the family doesn't like her. Her husband criticizes OP and renders her unlikable, which means the family doesn't want to interact with her and justifies him leaving OP behind. He doesn't want his family to like OP. So he wants you to stop pushing to be around your family, but he still gets angry when you stop pushing and go home, and he's not worried at all about your feelings or your hurt. He's worried about impressions. Do not have children with this man, OP. He will constantly lie to you, demean you, and belittle you behind your back. You now know that no matter how much or what you do for your husband, he will treat you as an inconvenience. How much more of this could you possibly take? I think they're only upset she left because once she was gone, they missed having the vacation nanny around. If she stays, they will bully and mold her into this role to gain their love and acceptance. OP, you need to realize that your husband is the issue. He doesn't even like you by the sounds of it. Please get some self-respect and leave him. I really need to know why the other spouses were allowed but OP was not. Did they have to ask to attend too, or were they actually invited? I feel like we're missing some info here. Like OP is a person of colour and they're white. It could also be a wealth scenario, where OP may not come from money and all the other sibling spouses do. Before anyone jumps on me for him paying for it, my dad does not do money with strings attached. He has always told us that once he gives a gift, it's ours. There is no control there, as his dad tried to control him with money. Anyway, I'm getting married to the love of my life in a few months. She's amazing, though she can be a bit neurotic and type A because she just wants everything to be perfect. She offended my family because she wanted to see and approve of the dresses for anyone who was going to be in the pictures. That did not sit well with my mom, stepmom, sisters, or really anyone. My dad is married to a woman who is considered extremely beautiful. Basically, everyone in our circle either wants to sleep with her or hates her, so being beautiful is her whole thing, and my dad is incredibly proud of this. Recently, we went on a family vacation, and my fiancé and I overheard my dad talking to his wife's daughter. She said she would never like my fiancé due to the approving the dress thing. My dad said he doesn't like her either, but he's a little more forgiving than everyone else because, of course, she is going to be insecure when she isn't that pretty. My stepsister said she doesn't care because it isn't her problem. My dad said, no, of course not, but like if I was her and had to be around your mom, I'd be a witch too. I was stunned and about to say something, but before I could, my fiancé began shouting at him. I backed her up completely. She cried when we were alone, and I asked what I could do to improve it. She said she couldn't stand having him at the wedding, but we had to because he paid for it. I said that isn't how things work in my family, and I'd handle it. I uninvited him, and he seemed very upset and said it was a one-time thing and I was overreacting. His wife then texted me about how cruel I am and how my fiancé needs thicker skin. So now everyone in the family is angry with us. Everyone's the idiot here. Your fiancé sounds incredibly controlling and jealous. Having a dress code is one thing, and demanding approval from the bride for every dress is another. To completely uninvite your father for a private comment he made to his wife is an overreach. So what, you're never going to say something over the top to your wife to make her feel better? Just wait, you will, and you'll hope no one's listening. But, doesn't the dad have the right to find his wife more beautiful than OP's fiancé? How does it make him the idiot? Wouldn't you want him to find his wife more attractive than his son's bride? You are the idiot. Your dad paid for the whole thing and you dropped him from an event that is only happening because he's financing it, because you eavesdropped on him having a private rant to your stepsister, who was the first one to complain about your fiancé, but it doesn't sound like you've uninvited her. What he said wasn't kind, but neither has your partner been. Your future wife sounds incredibly controlling. You're free to uninvite him, it is your wedding after all, but in that case, give him back his money and finance it yourself. I swear I would have called off the wedding simply because I paid for it. It would have been so much fun. You're a moron, OP. Not only are you getting married to a controlling uggo, but you permanently harmed your relationship with your father for a marriage that's not going to last. I wish I were the fly on the wall for when you come crawling back to your family. I, 26 female, have a niece, Laura, pre-tween, through my sister Kim, 33, and another niece, Amy, younger, through my brother Tom, 35. I know my siblings love their kids wholeheartedly, but when it comes to parenting, they each have different styles. This comes from the way that we were all brought up by our parents, who used the "because I'm the parent and you're the child, obey me without question" mindset that we all resented. Kim is the type of mother who can't seem to say and stick to the word no, while Tom will at least explain why. While Amy is a sweet, energetic little girl, she does listen and knows to respect people's rules and boundaries. Laura does not. Laura is entitled. Laura is impatient. Laura is whiny. Laura will go through a massive tantrum if she is denied anything, and will get progressively worse the longer she is denied because she knows her mom will cave eventually. I haven't watched Laura since she was younger. It was a nightmare. She yelled, screamed, kicked me, drew on the walls, and broke one of my framed pictures because I made her dinner instead of getting fast food. Kim did apologize for Laura's behavior, but shrugged off the idea of giving out a punishment, citing that kids will be kids. Never again would I be responsible for my niece again. On the other hand, Amy may need to be told something more than once, but ultimately is a respectful child. I babysat for Tom multiple times and did fun activities with Amy. The coming August, before the start of school, I was planning on going with some friends to the Mouse Kingdom in Florida. Due to life events, they dropped out, but I still wanted to go and asked Tom if he and his wife would be down to come with me, and I'd go 50-50 on everything with them. They were delighted and we all decided to go. Obviously, Kim found out and wanted to come too, but we all knew she couldn't afford it, so I thought everything was settled. Well, Laura found out, and at our family dinner, she was super upset about Amy getting a surprise trip and not her. She then looked at me and said, "Auntie, you have a nice job and no kids. You can pay for everything." I told her that while I make more money than her mom, I can't pay for everyone by myself. Laura said, "Yes, you can. You had money to pay for that car." She pointed to my new car in the driveway. "You can pay for Mommy and me to go." I refused again and cue the tantrum. It was awful, and she kept screaming why and saying that if I really loved her, I'd make her happy by paying for the trip over and over. I kept refusing, and she got worse before I finally snapped and yelled back that I didn't love her. She was a mean little girl and I didn't like being around her. That definitely shut her up for a moment before she started to sob and cry. Kim is berating me for being so heartless and that I'm evil for favouring one niece over the other. Am I the idiot? Everyone's the idiot here except for the kids. Laura is being taught all of this. She's not doing it out of malice. Your sister is obviously an idiot parent, but you are no better. Instead of using this as an opportunity to tell the kid, calmly and politely, that spending money doesn't equal love and attempting a teachable moment, you chose to yell at an 8-year-old. It's not OP's nor her brother's job to parent their niece. Her sister created a monster and ignored all advice from her siblings. This is 100% on her. Also, children can be idiots. To say otherwise is to say they have zero agency, which is insulting to many kids out there. It may not be Laura's fault that she's an idiot right now, but that doesn't mean she isn't one. It's OP's job to be more mature than an undisciplined pre-tween. Saying no is fine, even calling her mean is fine. Telling a child relative you don't love them was inappropriate. It's the kind of thing I expect a hormonal teen to shout. Telling a kid that you don't love them doesn't teach them a lesson unless you consider you are fundamentally unlovable a lesson. Children don't deserve to get whatever they want, but they do deserve to be treated with kindness, even the undisciplined ones. Work on your issues and do better. Disagree. OP is not the idiot. Laura needs to hear it. Possibly not quite so harshly, perhaps I love you but don't like you because everything else got said. She's going to be both unbearable and miserable as she grows up. Honestly, I suspect Aunt OP's money is a common topic in Laura's household. She kept saying, yes, you have a money, a car and a job so you can pay for us too. Yikes. I, 22 female, am my mom's 39 oldest child. She met my stepdad when she was 19 and he was 27. They were married a year later and went on to have my siblings, N, 18 male, A, nearly adult female, and T, teen female. It's not a secret that I don't like my stepdad. My mom was a vulnerable teenager when she met him, and he was a grown man. He made her quit school and become a housewife while isolating her from her family. I left at 18 because I couldn't stand seeing him with her. I hate how he talks to her and how he's treated her their entire relationship. I visit when he's working, so I don't have to see him but still get to see my family, so my dislike for him is obvious. My sister T, teen, had a birthday dinner a few days ago and she wanted me and my girlfriend, 24, to be there. So despite my dislike for my stepdad, I went because I wanted my little sister to be happy. At the dinner, somehow, the fact that my girlfriend is 24 was mentioned, and my stepdad made a face before asking her, "You don't think it's inappropriate to date someone who can hardly legally drink?" I think all the years of quiet resentment just bubbled over because I didn't even think about it before I asked him if he developed those morals before or after he started dating a vulnerable teen mom when he was nearly 30. He got red in the face and my mom quickly changed the subject. The following day I got a text from my mom saying that my stepdad doesn't want me coming over to the house anymore, even when he isn't there. Apparently he made that announcement to my siblings too, and since then, both of my sisters have started giving him the silent treatment. My brother texted saying he agrees with me, and he wishes our mom would leave his dad too, but I shouldn't have done that at T's birthday dinner. My girlfriend agrees with my brother, but I talked to T, and as far as she's concerned, nothing I said was inaccurate, and she thinks her dad should have kept his mouth shut if he didn't want me calling him out. The whole extended family found out about it though, so now my stepdad's mom is accusing me of lashing out at him because my mother never married my father, so they think I'm just jealous apparently. The whole thing is an absolute mess, and I'm being called an idiot for ruining my sister's birthday dinner. So, am I? In Dutch we say, he got a cookie made from his own dough. Not the idiot at all. No lies were told. I applaud you for that amazing comment. He calls you out, but surprise Pikachu face when he gets called out. He's a hypocrite. Is your family mad because they discovered what happened, or because stepdad told them his version? Because yeah, he's guilty of what he's preaching. I'd ensure they're not being fed an altered version of actual events. Stand your ground. It won't matter. They sound like the type that family trumps all. It'll take an acre of God, Congress, and Shiva acting in concert to change their minds. Maybe the birthday dinner wasn't the most appropriate time, but all you did was speak the truth. 27-year-olds only date teenagers because they can't find someone their own age to put up with them. I hope your mom comes to her senses and leaves him. I own an apartment with my ex, and until our divorce is finalized, it's both of ours. I had to leave a lot of my stuff in the apartment when I first moved out, and I haven't been back to collect my things because I don't want to be in the apartment or anywhere near it or him in the beginning. I found out he was going to be abroad, so I told him I would collect some of my things while he was gone, and he said it was fine. I let myself in, and I wasn't expecting anybody to be there, but his girlfriend was. She freaked out when she saw me, started threatening to have me kicked out and accused me of breaking in. She wouldn't calm down or let me get my things even after I pointed out this was my apartment too, even if I no longer lived there. She tried to call my ex, but he never answered her call, and in the end, I had her kicked out because she wouldn't let me get my stuff and was irritating me. My ex called me the day after to ask why I kicked his girlfriend out and said I wasn't being very nice. We ended up fighting because he was being condescending. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot, it is your apartment. Your ex didn't bother to mention that another woman would be there, making me wonder if he wanted this altercation. Either ex wanted the altercation to happen, or he's just that dumb. You are the idiot, OP. Unpopular opinion, I know. The girlfriend is just sitting in an apartment she thinks she is legally inhabiting. The landlord walks in unannounced, refuses to leave, and then has her kicked out. In her shoes, I'd freak out and get belligerent too. Agree. I don't think the girlfriend is an idiot either. It sounds like she had no idea the OP was coming over, and may have had no idea the OP could still legally access the place whenever. It would be pretty alarming to have your SO's ex show up when your SO isn't home, insisting they can remove items from the house. You may not even have a good idea of what is your SO's stuff and what the ex's stuff to know if the ex is stealing right under your nose. Maybe even he didn't know the girlfriend was there. Who knows, perhaps the girlfriend could have taken OP's belongings too. OP says she still has belongings over there. As a woman, it's not hard to tell if another woman has lived there. Not hard at all. She knew, she just didn't care. Or her boyfriend has been feeding her lies about the kind of person OP is.